Africa's history is scarred by struggles so harsh that they claimed not just thousands, but millions of lives. These are the shocking stories of how African nations endured some of the darkest acts of violence. Take Somalia, for example. Since 1991, the country has been trapped in endless wars fueled by the fight for power. The militant group Al-Shabaab has vowed to keep fighting until it builds an Islamic state. And alongside that, ethnic-based killings have left entire communities shattered. That kind of ethnic violence has also devastated many other countries such as Nigeria, Burundi, Rwanda, both Sudans and others. In this documentary, let us go through the list of the 10 countries in Africa that have suffered the worst acts of brutality and massacres. To prepare this, I used the book On the Incidents of Civil War in Africa by Paul Collier and Anke Hoffler, and also On the Origins of War in Africa by Clarence Chitareke. Welcome to the world of research. Welcome to the large family of WIN, Wisdom in Narrations. Let us begin in the south of Sudan, in the Central African Republic. Since President Francois Bozizé was overthrown in 2013, the country has been torn apart by war and ethnic killings. The main conflict is between the Muslim-led Seleka rebels and the Christian-led anti-Balaka militia. Economic problems have only added more fuel to this fire. The Central African Republic is rich in natural resources, including gold, and both groups have been fighting to control them, with many lives lost. Weak government in the country is also a hidden cause behind these never-ending wars. The failure to provide security or even basic services has increased violence and lawlessness. People kill others because they know no one will punish them. It is estimated that between 20,000 and 30,000 people have died in this conflict. That makes the Central African Republic number 10 on the list of African countries that have suffered the worst atrocities. After that comes Zanzibar. During its 1964 revolution, between 20,000 and 30,000 people were killed when the Arab-led monarchy was overthrown and a republic established. Arabs made up about 2% of the total population, having settled there since the 7th century for trade, eventually taking control of the island. Over time, they ruled, marginalized, and exploited the native Africans, even selling them during the slave trade. This led to African resistance and demands for rights and leadership. As a result, the Sultan's monarchy was toppled, and Zanzibar became part of Tanzania. The violence between Arabs and Africans during that revolution killed tens of thousands and put Zanzibar at number 9 on this list. The killings were brutal, often carried out with traditional weapons such as machetes, spears, axes, and arrows. Next is Eritrea. This country in the Horn of Africa also suffered terrible atrocities. From 1961 to 1991, there was a devastating war between Ethiopia and Eritrean fighters seeking independence. Ethiopia had annexed Eritrea in 1952, but the real problem was how it confiscated people's property and imposed Ethiopian culture, leaving Eritreans poor and stripped of their traditions. Some Eritreans refused to accept this, took up arms, and fought back. The war lasted more than 30 years, and in May 1993, Eritrea finally gained independence. It is estimated that about 30,000 people were killed. That puts Eritrea at number 8 on this list. Moving to southern Africa, we arrive in Zimbabwe. From 1964 to 1979, the country was in turmoil. Indigenous Africans fought fiercely against British colonial rulers who had taken their land. This war is known as the Second Chimurenga. Armed groups such as ZANU, led by Robert Mugabe, and ZAPU fought against the white minority government of Ian Smith. Many were killed, both civilians and fighters, often with traditional weapons. Between 30,000 and 50,000 people are believed to have died. However, the war ended successfully for Africans, with the signing of the Lancaster House Agreement in December 1979. This brought internationally recognized independence in April 1980, followed by land redistribution, as Mugabe returned much of the land to Black Africans. Zimbabwe is followed by Burundi. From 1993 until 2005, everyone knew that Burundi was marked by terrible violence between Hutu and Tutsi, killing each other. Since 1923, Burundi had been colonized by Belgium. Just like they did in Rwanda during their colonial rule, in Burundi they emphasized ethnicity. For all the years they stayed, they promoted divisions, showing Tutsi as superior people who deserved leadership. That is how Tutsi came to lead for many years under colonial rule. Meanwhile, the Belgians also told Hutu in Burundi that Tutsi were oppressors who had enslaved them. This deepened hatred between Hutu and Tutsi, and conflicts for power multiplied again and again. In July 1993, Melchior Ndadaye became president, the first Hutu ever to reach the presidency through elections. But only 3 months later, in October that same year, he was assassinated by a group of Tutsi soldiers. From that moment, a brutal civil war erupted between the two ethnic groups. By 2005, the killings had claimed more than 300,000 lives. The violence was carried out with modern weapons, but also with traditional ones like spears, arrows, and other crude tools. For this reason, Burundi is placed 6th on this list. Now, let us move to the northeast of the African continent. Here lies a country bordered by Egypt to the north, the Red Sea and Eritrea to the east, Ethiopia to the southeast, South Sudan to the south, the Central African Republic and Chad to the west, and Libya to the northwest. Most of you have already guessed, it is Sudan. Sudan has been mired in conflict since 1955, back when it was colonized jointly by Egypt and Britain. Later, in 2011, the country was divided into two, Sudan and South Sudan. Sudan covers an area of 1,886,068 square kilometers and has about 50 million people. One of its darkest conflicts was in Darfur, a region in western Sudan. The Darfur War began in February 2003 and is among the bloodiest events, with some calling it genocide. It started when non-Arab ethnic groups, the Fur, Masalit, and Zagawa, accused the government of discrimination and neglect. Tensions rose quickly with the government of President Omar al-Bashir. In response, his government created a militia group known as the Janjaweed, composed of Arab fighters. They launched brutal attacks on the non-Arab groups, killings that many around the world consider genocide. By 2005, about 200,000 people had already been killed, and overall more than 300,000 were confirmed dead from the conflict. The violence also merged with political power struggles that continue even today. In April 2019, Omar al-Bashir was overthrown by his own military after months of intense protests demanding his resignation. He was replaced by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the head of Sudan's Armed Forces, SAF. But he faced rivalry from General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, commander of the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces, a powerful paramilitary group. Their rivalry exploded into open war on April 15, 2023. From the start, RSF troops under General Dagalo gained strong ground, taking control of Darfur, much of Khartoum including the capital, and the regions of Kordofan and Gezira. By late 2023, many observers believed Dagalo was on the verge of winning Sudan entirely. The government of General al-Burhan was even forced to relocate to Port Sudan on the Red Sea coast. Some foreign countries began openly recognizing Dagalo as Sudan's de facto leader. But now, the situation has shifted again. Recently, the SAF forces of General al-Burhan have been regaining territory piece by piece, pushing RSF back and even retaking the presidential palace in Khartoum. This ongoing war, full of bloodshed and destruction, has placed Sudan 5th on the list of African countries that have experienced some of the worst atrocities and massacres. Let's leave Sudan and move further south to its neighbor, the world's youngest nation, South Sudan. This country was created after Sudan itself split apart, as we explained earlier. Since its independence, it has been led by President Salva Kiir Mayardit, with Riek Machar as vice president. But from 2013 to 2018, a bloody power struggle broke out between the two men. The violence was also fueled by ethnic divisions. President Kiir belongs to the Dinka community, while Machar is from the Nuer. That conflict killed many, with over 400,000 lives lost. In 2018, they signed a peace deal to share power. Yet even now, clashes continue, and supporters of Vice President Machar, including Machar himself, have often found themselves imprisoned or under attack. Because of these tragedies, South Sudan ranks fourth on our list of African nations scarred by deadly conflicts, right after its big brother, Sudan. At number 3 is Somalia, a nation trapped in endless wars. After the fall of the military regime of Siad Barre in 1991, armed groups began fighting for control. Among them, the United Somali Congress, USC, the Somali National Movement, SNM, Hizbul Islam, the Somali Patriotic Movement, SPM, and of course Al-Shabaab. Tribal rivalries only made things worse. Today, Al-Shabaab remains the most powerful rebel group, constantly clashing with the government of President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. They even launch attacks near his palace, though he often escapes unharmed. Al-Shabaab's goal is to seize the country and enforce a strict Islamist rule, and they openly declare they will never compromise. Since the war began, between 300,000 and 1 million people have been killed. Somalia has been left devastated, ranking among the 5 poorest countries in the world. At number 2 is Nigeria, another African giant haunted by mass killings. Between 1967 and 1970, Nigeria was torn apart by the Biafra War, an ethnic conflict mainly involving the Igbo people in the southeast, who wanted independence as the Republic of Biafra. Although Nigeria had just gained independence in 1960, political instability and the struggle for oil wealth triggered secession. When Biafra declared independence, war broke out. It became one of Africa's deadliest conflicts, with between 1 and 3 million deaths caused not only by fighting, but also by hunger and disease. Eventually, Biafra was defeated and the Igbo's dream of independence collapsed. But violence did not end there. Since 2009, Nigeria has battled the extremist group Boko Haram, which seeks to impose strict Islamic law. Over 35,000 people have been killed since then. This ongoing bloodshed places Nigeria firmly at number 2 on our list. Finally, number 1, Rwanda. Starting in 1959, Rwanda saw ethnic violence where Hutu extremists killed thousands of Tutsis. That turmoil led to the fall of the monarchy in 1961, when King Kigeli V Ndahindurwa fled into exile and power shifted to the Parmehutu party of Gregoire Kayibanda. These divisions were not accidental. They were worsened by Belgian colonial rule, which had earlier replaced the Germans in 1916. The Belgians reinforced ethnic identity cards and favored the Tutsi minority as rulers, later turning around and telling the Hutu majority that they had been oppressed, sowing deep mistrust between the groups. That tension eventually exploded. In 1959, between 20,000 and 100,000 Tutsis were killed. And then, in 1994, came the ultimate horror, the genocide against the Tutsi, when about 1 million people were killed in just 100 days. The killings were carried out with unimaginable brutality, often with machetes and other crude weapons, under the government of President Juvenal Habyarimana. This was one of the darkest chapters in human history. From your perspective, Which brutal tragedy do you think stands at the very top of Africa's darkest history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I wish you better life, foods, and money. Stay in the Big Wins family.